That's not a Subaru engine coming out again, is it? It is. You should know that by now. It's a common occurrence here. But I'm whipping it out because we're going to fit the Killer Bee Sump. Like I said on the last video, I didn't know if it's going to be the exhaust fitting or the Killer Bee Sump, and it's the Killer Bee Sump. So we're going to pull the engine out, put it on a stand, turn it upside down, and then I'll bring you in and fit the Killer Bee Sump and all them components. So yeah, I'll see you again in a minute when we've got it out.
Tracks.
You'd almost think I'd done that before. Yeah, it actually took longer to get the... I seem to have just got the right angle, do you know, without the inlet manifold being on. I think it just picks it up at the right angle, just to slot on perfectly. It's off subject, but it's got warmer outside, so it's colder in here, so everything's just condensating. So everything's just soaked in water. It's like all the blocks. It's not ideal. But yeah, it took longer genuinely to get the clutch pack off. Sorry. Right, so I'm going to show you a couple of things. I'll get that off first. I've got it. Yeah, I've made a little bracket because before, when I was lifting the engine up, there was nowhere to pick it up from without the inlet manifold being on. So, yeah, I've just made this little, I'll show you, like a little, just welded a bit of box on and then welded that, spacer on. And yeah, just enough to put a strap through. I do actually need to get a shorter strap because that takes the piss, but yeah, does the job anyway. We've got loads of time. The one thing I wanted to notice, show you whilst I was here, I've wrapped the headers. If you got me on social media, you will have seen it this morning, but I'll flip the camera on so you can see them because they look a lot better. It looks semi-professional now. Yeah, there they are. They're it looks a hell of a lot better, to be all heat wrapped. Yeah, you get the idea anyway. I just wanted to show you. So I'm just going to run through what you'll need, to install everything. So I've got. It was all in order, but I've messed it up a little bit here. So we're going to need some. I keep buying these and then using half a tub, but it's 3-bond 1215. It's the OEM Subaru gasket sealant. I use it throughout the block. So we've got the 14 Allen head bolts to actually screw the sump, to the block. They're going to be installed with a 5mm Allen key. They get torqued to, and it says in the instructions here, they get torqued to 5 foot-pounds in a crisscross pattern, so, straightforward. I use the extension and the 3/8 drive, to initially nip them up. We've got the torque wrench for doing that, which goes low enough. And then we've also got the bigger torque wrench for tightening up the sump bungs. So that would be the two sump bungs at the bottom there. So yeah, that's straightforward. To do those sump bungs, I've bought, because you don't get the Sump bungs with it, you can buy them off Killabee's website, but I've just bought ones that are locally available here from ICP, Fuji Racing. Just a magnetic, I believe it's titanium. It feels pretty light, like, but anyway, that's for the M20 by 1.5, the OEM bung, and you get an alloy washer with that, but I'm not using that because Killabee have said, recommended using the copper washer, so I use the copper washer. And then the other one is a 1/2 inch MPT, which is, I've just bought a 1/2 inch MPT bung, and to install that I've got one of these Clark oil drain sets, and they just come with loads of different Allen key sets, for doing sumps and stuff. And it is a 3/8, that's the size, you can see it on there. Yep, 3/8 this side. That's for doing this bung up that I've bought, this specific one. 21mm to go into that, obviously. What else? We've got 10mm for doing the couple of additional bolts that I don't know where I've put. I need to get that actually. That'd help. The pickup pipe. I wouldn't be doing a lot without this. Yeah. So that can go there, and then I've got a couple of bolts. I've just had a couple of loose Subaru bolts, which is for the back of the windage tray. Just two. Don't know how long they are. What's that? 10, 15mm maybe. Just some 10mm bolts. So these are the two longer pan heads. They're a different colour to those ones. You can see, I don't know if they're stainless. They should all be stainless, I think. Are they different grade? These are stainless, the ones that you tighten, that go around the sump to the block. And these ones look like galv, but they're 12.9, tensile strength, and these for the oil pickup pipe. So just a little interesting fact there, I thought I'll point out. And then these ones look like high tensile as well. Yeah, these are 12.9 high tensile, and they're for bolting the they're for bolting the oil pickup pipe. The other ones with the washers on are for bolting the back, this part, with the little aluminium spacers that you get with it. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling again. So we'll crack on. I'll move the camera over and we'll get the initially the windage tray and the oil pickup pipe bolted on. So I've flipped it around, you see it then, and just giving it a quick wipe off. You can see all that condensation. Luckily there's nothing inside the engine. It's all covered in oil anyway, but to protect it. But yeah, it's just like condensation everywhere. Can you see that bit better there? Yeah. So you don't need to do this, but I've just done it as a bit of a additional thing. Just giving everything a nice, just to spray off a brake cleaner and a wipe. It's just in case there's any like residual machining. There isn't. I've looked over them all. They've obviously do this in the factory, but yeah, you can't harm. Just give it a quick wipe, check it all over. So yeah, this piece goes. I'm going to give that a bit of a wipe as well, actually. I've wiped around the mating area, but I'm just going to give these mating surfaces, where this is bolting to, I'm just going to give them a little bit of a wipe as well. There's a bit of grease on it, but that's sound. So yeah, these are the two bits that go on first. So we've got the baffle tray. Be careful not to, obviously if you're doing this inside the car, it's going to be difficult because you're not going to be dropping anything inside the engine. But if you're doing it on the bench like this, just be careful not to drop anything in the engine. You know, just be mindful. Yeah. With all the O-rings and stuff, I tend to just put a little bit. If you're doing this with a brush, just get a hairless, you know, don't lose hairs. I just bang only a real little bit like that, just red rubber grease. It dissolves in the oil, but it's just like a little bit of a protection. If you were to like put it in and kink it, you know, give it a little twist, you might kink the O-ring. I mean, the lightness of it is very, very slim, but it doesn't cost anything just to, and it doesn't harm anything, you know, just to give it a little bit of a wipe of grease before it goes in. Yeah, same on the extension. So because we're fitting it into the Killer B sump, and not the OEM sump, we're using the extension pieces. So that includes both the extension pieces, these two pieces you can see, and then the piece with another O-ring. Just make sure you got both O-rings on. And then how it's saying to install this on the instructions is, if we look, you can see that there. So it's saying on the right hand side one, it's actually got the little lip that's there. Can you see that? A little lip there. So it's saying on the right hand side one to put it going forward like that. This is probably not that essential. And then the lip on the other one facing inwards. So we're going to flip that over. Are we? So that one wants to be facing that way, and that one wants to be facing the inside. That's right. And then this extension goes straight down with the O-ring onto the block, like so. So then I've also cleaned all this. I've sprayed all in brake cleaner in there. Give it a good spray all around just to make sure there's nothing on it, because that's the last thing we want. Yep, there we go. And it all lines up perfectly, not like I said on another video, not like the OEM. The OEM, you have to bend this one a bit, and it's a bit not very good. So I'm just grabbing some to do. On all the bolts that you put in, I just put some light oil, so some WD-40 or PB Blaster, whatever. I just spray them and under their heads with a light bit of oil, just something real light like WD. Just so that when you're applying the torque with the torque wrench, you're giving the bolts the right torque that they should have. Obviously they have different torque ratings for different weights of oils, but I just put a light oil on and then it's somewhere near enough, better than under torquing it by not having any oil on, if that makes sense. So these ones are the ones that go on the oil pump as per the instructions. These ones are for the back brackets. So they go in like so. I said that wrong a minute ago. I said that was said it was the other way around, but we're getting them installed the right way, aren't we? So the ones with the washers on, they've got two little spring washers, like so, two little spring washers, and they're the 12.9s, the same as them black ones. These are going into the doing the same again with the just a little bit of WD-40, and then these I just wipe it underneath the heads as well. These are going into the pickup pipe. So torque wise, I just snug all these down finger tight initially. Obviously these back ones are going to be tighter than the front ones because they've not got the O-ring to compress, you know, like not tighter, but you know, like they're going to be lower down, so more compressed, shall we say. So yeah, get them finger tight, and then I get a nice extension there, and then go like sort of hand tight with, you know, like equal. I don't need to teach you how to tighten a bolt, but yeah, just equal pressure on each one, and do these back ones. Just make sure them back before you nip these two up. Just you can make sure, or you can even put the, do you know the two other bolts that throwing things everywhere now. The other two bolts that I'd, got to put the windage tray in, you can put them in now. So, just because if you tighten the oil pickup pipe up, these might not line up. They do line up, but they might not, depending on how you've had if you've had the block arse machined, or I don't know, there could be any different types of reasons, combinations, shall we say. So yeah, nip these up. And then we'll swap over to the 10mm to nip them back ones up, and then we can torque everything down to the right spec, which is for these 5 foot-pounds for the windage tray bolts, and then the oil pickup bolts here go to 7.5 foot-pounds. So these ones here are going to 5, so we set 5 foot-pounds on the old torque wrench. There we go. Clickety click. I'm just going to swap that because I might be giving the incorrect torque because the socket's too big for the hole. One sec. Got an arrow one now. Do you know one that's going to fit in? So we'll just check that again. See, managed to get a bit more torque on it because it was obviously the friction of it gripping against the windage tray, would give it an incorrect reading. So yeah, I'm sorry anyway. That one's torqued. Double check that again. Yep. You should maybe, actually thinking about it, rewind, undo these, because these have got variable, like a little bit of wiggle room. We'll nip these ones up first. So these ones go to 7.5 foot-pounds. So 7.5 foot-pounds. And then back to 5 foot-pounds for these back two. There we go, sorted. So next up we are going to put the sump on. So, brake cleaner again, give that area a nice wipe down. Torque wrench needs setting to, is it 5 Newton meters? 5 foot-pounds, sorry. 5 foot-pounds. 5 foot-pounds it is, yeah. So, I think, I'll put a picture up in the screen, but I think the manual for the windage tray, is it 6.4 Newton meters? I've just got that in my head, and I think this one is 7.2 Newton meters, so 7.5 is not enough, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they're 6.4 Newton meters. I'll put a picture up of the manual on the screen. Is it 4.7 foot-pounds? Something like that. So yeah, we'll give that a wipe as well. The sump itself. And then we just want a thin bead. People go mad with this, with silicone. I've had to cut this again, but normally I just literally have the tiniest cut you can put on the end of the tube. Like, that is too big. I just normally have like a tiny little pinhole, and that's enough. Yeah, so very thin smear. You can just see me put it on anyway, but you don't need to go around here. I don't know why I do it, like OCD or something, but obviously the oil's only being sealed from the inside. But yeah, look at how just a very thin smear all the way around. If you've got, if there's no imperfections on here, there's no reason why you would need to be going blathering. There's never any reason you need to be going blathering. This, when you come to take this off, you'd be surprised at how far that spreads. Do you know, that will spread, you know, quite close to the edge. If you really want, you can go over and, you know, rub it and just to see how far it spreads down. But yeah, go ahead. Flip that. Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't show you that, did I? I might have showed you on another episode, but I welded the oil return, you know, for the turbo AM10 fitting. It goes. I did show you anyway. Rambling. Yeah. Just double check. No crap. There we go. And then all the stainless bolts, just find a couple in, and you want to spray some WD on these as well, you know, just so you're getting the right torque. I mean, you don't have to, but I do. You can see, well, I'll bring you in a bit closer in a minute, but you can see the sealant oozing a little bit, you know, at the sides. I'm just going back around now, just checking the torque. I'm going to give it sort of 20 minutes or so, and then I'll recheck the torque again, you know, just when the sealant's compressed into its final, oh, it's a bit tight, you know, when the sealant's compressed into its final position. I've just done that one. But it's allowing me to turn it a little bit more now, you know, just since the sealant's initially gone. But I'm going, initially I did a crisscross, you know, opposites. Now I'm just going around like you would with the OEM, you know, just for, well, like I would, sorry, with the OEM, I would just go around gradually, you know, like you would a clutch or anything, gently tightening it up. Yeah, that's it. We're installed. So the only other thing we've got to do is put the sump bungs in, but we've got a couple of included O-rings as well. You can see they just go on the dipstick tube. So I've got that. Have I got that? I've got one. I've got the dipstick tube. I've got the wrong dipstick. That's for a flat bottom sump, not the twin scroll. So yeah, 2 O-rings. They're the original 2 O-rings. I was wondering this the other day when I did the video actually. So are these the same size? And the answer is no. So if you was wondering, I mean you could just ask Killer B, but if you was wondering, the ones that come with the Killer B are smaller, so the tube for the Killer B sump must be a little bit narrower. So yeah, make sure you use the supplied ones, you know, that come with it, not the OEM orange ones. Yeah, I'll put the sump bungs in next. On the NPT one, I actually, you still see that? Yeah, perfect. I actually put a bit of well seal. So it's a non-setting jointing compound, and I use it on all the cylinder heads, you know, for all the like these little bungs that go in the cylinder heads. So you just put a bit on, leave it 10 or 15 minutes or so, and then you can thread it in nicely. So we'll get that one in. These both go to 34 or 32? 32 foot-pounds. Both go to 32 foot-pounds. So I'll put a picture of it on the screen anyway so you can see. I just put a little bit of oil or thin oil, you know, either engine oil or just WD-40, you know, on the threads of the Sump, on the threads and on the face, just as if you was putting like head gasket red stud bolts in, or you know, just on the thing, just so you can get apply the right torque to the nut, bolt, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that one goes in next to it with the copper, with the supplied copper washer that Killer Bee give you. And there we go, and then that goes to 32, as I was saying, 32 foot-pounds. So we've got the torque wrench set. I've got that set to 32 foot-pounds. Yep, and then we'll put the little adapter in. Try and use a 6-sided socket. It's just better in it. It'd help if we were doing the right one. So we'll do this one first. So 32. Yep. Here we go. There we go, 32. There we have it, installed. Get it back in the car now. So yeah, that'll be it. That'll be it for today's video. We've got the sump installed. I'm just going to go around in a minute and re-torque all these. I'm going to put a couple of pictures up in the screen just to show you how that very small amount of sealant has actually squeezed out of the sides and is completely sufficient. It was probably more than sufficient, but just a little note, don't be scared. I watch so many videos on YouTube. That's how I've learned to do half the stuff I do, but don't be scared and think, oh, that's not enough, you know, it's going to leak, because it is enough, honestly. You don't want the opposite. I say this so many times, but you don't want the opposite, and a piece coming off and then getting stuck in an oil way and knackering the engine. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I've put these headers on just because it looks nice, so may as well admire it before it gets absolutely knackered. But yeah, stay tuned for the next video because we're going to be doing the exhaust. I keep so much wanting to put it out of the bumper, but we can't do it. So yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Take it easy.